Brian De Palma's Carrie isn't just a horror movie. It's a full-on emotional explosion with one of the most shocking and heartbreaking endings in movie history. It's based on Stephen King's very first published novel, and even though that book came out in 1974, the 1976 film adaptation still hits like a punch to the gut today. If you've ever seen the image of a high school girl drenched in blood at prom, yep, that's Carrie. And while that single image has become iconic, there's way more going on in the film's wild and emotional ending. Let's break it all down piece by piece in a way that's simple and easy to follow, and dig into what it really means and why it still gives people chills decades later. The ending of Carrie starts off with a moment that actually seems hopeful. Carrie White, who's been bullied all her life and sheltered by her super religious and abusive mother, finally gets invited to prom. She even gets asked by a popular guy, Tommy, who turns out to be kind and genuine. For the first time in her life, Carrie feels normal. She feels included. She feels like she belongs. She wears a beautiful dress, does her hair, and smiles like someone who's never had a reason to smile before. It's a rare bright spot in a life full of shadows. But as anyone who's read the book or seen the film knows, it's not going to last. Carrie gets voted prom queen, and when she walks up to the stage, something incredible happens. She looks genuinely happy. It's not a trap, at least not yet. It's a real moment, but it's quickly destroyed. A group of cruel classmates, led by the mean girl Chris and her boyfriend Billy, rig the vote and set up a disgusting prank. Just as Carrie is soaking up her moment in the spotlight, a bucket of pig's blood comes crashing down on her head. The entire crowd gasps. Time seems to freeze. It's shocking, humiliating, and deeply cruel. And it's the moment Carrie finally snaps. First, she stands there in total shock. Covered in blood, not moving, not speaking. But then something breaks inside her. She starts imagining that everyone around her, even people who didn't plan the prank, are laughing at her. In her mind, they're mocking her just like they always have. Even her kind gym teacher and her date Tommy are seen laughing in her hallucination. That's when her telekinetic powers take over. Carrie locks the gym doors using her mind, trapping everyone inside. Chaos erupts. She turns on the fire hoses, blasting people around the room. Then she uses electrical wires to shock and kill her teachers. People scream in panic, but there's no way out. Eventually, she sets the whole place on fire and calmly walks away, leaving most of the students and teachers to die in the flames. It's not just revenge. It's rage, grief, and trauma all exploding at once. As she walks home still covered in blood, Chris and Billy try to run her over with their car. But Carrie's had enough. She uses her powers to flip their car, causing it to crash and explode, killing them both instantly. After that, she goes home, and instead of finding comfort, she walks into the final betrayal. Her mother, who thinks Carrie's powers are evil and sinful, attacks her with a knife. Carrie, now drained and devastated, has no choice but to fight back. She uses her telekinesis one last time and kills her mother by hurling sharp kitchen tools into her body. In one haunting image, her mother's body ends up crucified, a symbol of the twisted religious beliefs she forced onto Carrie her whole life. The house begins to crumble, literally falling apart around Carrie. With her last ounce of strength, Carrie pulls her dead mother close and collapses under the rubble, choosing to die rather than keep living in a world that's only ever hurt her. It's a tragic end, but it doesn't stop there. In the final scene, we see Sue Snell, one of the few classmates who tried to help Carrie. Sue is visiting the site where Carrie's house once stood. Everything's quiet, until a bloody hand bursts out of the ground and grabs her. But then Sue wakes up. It was just a nightmare. That's how the movie ends, with Sue screaming in bed, clearly still haunted by everything that happened. This moment wasn't in Stephen King's original book, but De Palma added it to show how trauma doesn't die. It sticks with you. The ending in Stephen King's novel is a little different. In the book, Carrie's revenge isn't limited to just the school gym. She goes on a full rampage through the town, using her powers to destroy buildings, kill hundreds of people, and cut off the town's electricity and water. It's way more destructive and shows how massive her powers really are. In contrast, the movie makes her a bit more human. Still dangerous, but someone we can understand and feel sorry for. De Palma probably made this change to make Carrie's pain and actions more relatable, rather than turning her into a full-blown monster. In the book, Carrie also communicates with Sue telepathically as she's dying. Sue learns in those final moments that she and Tommy had nothing to do with the pig's blood prank. That bit isn't in the film, but it adds more layers to the original story. The book also dives deeper into the science behind Carrie's powers, saying they may be genetic and could appear in others, not just her. There are even hearings held by the government after the destruction trying to understand what happened. But the movie skips all of this and sticks with a simpler, more emotional version. So what does the ending of Carrie really mean? It's more than just a horror story. It's about the devastating effects of abuse, bullying, and isolation. Carrie is a victim from day one. Mocked by her classmates, tormented at home, and pushed to the edge by people who never gave her a chance. When she finally gets a glimpse of happiness, it's snatched away in the cruelest way possible. Her powers give her the ability to fight back, but it comes at a terrible cost. Carrie's destruction of the school, and even her own death, is a symbol of how trauma can explode when it's ignored for too long. It doesn't just hurt the person carrying it. It spreads, hurting everyone around them. Even people who didn't directly hurt Carrie end up caught in the blast. That's the painful truth. Unhealed trauma has consequences, even for the innocent. And then there's Sue. Her nightmare at the end shows that even after the violence is over, the emotional scars remain. She tried to help Carrie, but it was too little too late. Now she's left with memories she can't forget and guilt she can't erase. Carrie might be gone, but the impact of what happened continues to haunt those who survived. That final image of Carrie's hand grabbing Sue may just be a dream, but it captures the emotional message of the movie perfectly. Trauma doesn't end when the person who was hurting is gone. It lingers. It reaches out from the past and grabs hold of the future. That's what makes Carrie such a powerful story. It's not just scary because of the blood and fire. It's scary because it's real. It's about what happens when people are pushed too far. When kindness comes too late. When pain turns into rage. And that's why Carrie still matters today. Nearly 50 years later, the story feels just as relevant. It shows us what happens when someone is made to feel like an outsider their whole life. It warns us about the dangers of cruelty, judgment, and silence. And it reminds us that sometimes the scariest things aren't ghosts or monsters. They're the people around us, and the pain we carry inside.